Hello? Is it working? I've got music playing, but I don't know if that's too loud. Let me try to... Oh, screen stopped working for a second there. Why is everything lagging? That's a bit better. Now when I click the screen, it actually does stuff. And if I do this, then do this. Yeah, now I've got chat on the screen. But it's super itty bitty. Nice. Right, sorry, was just updating my Instagram so the Instagram people can see and be like, oh, number countdown go down, confetti, yippee. Let's see who's in chat. 2 people, hello friends, of Bogus and EA. How are you all this fine midday? We cruising along? I have music playing in the background, but I don't know if it's playing properly. Finishing my iced coffee. That was a hard sound, I apologize. I also doubly apologize if for any reason you hear, I don't know, loud revving or something. Someone on the block decided that, you know what, motorbike time. So if that comes through, I apologize. It's been annoying the crap out of me, so I decided to chuck my headphones on. Yeah, it just rattles the house, and I'm not a fan of that. Some icky business there. I hope I'm not lagging when this is working, or y'all just... That's how it be. It do be. Now I'm paranoid everything's lagging because every time I click on something on the screen it keeps crapping itself. I don't know if I can even... Hold on. You don't think it is? Okay, I will double check, make sure I've got it on the right settings. Yes, I do. My on YouTube, it keeps telling me I'm playing Amori right now, So no, I don't think I am. That's not what I put in. Not today, at least. Hopefully not today, at least. I have a full frontal connection to the Wi-Fi that's uninterrupted, so I hope it's not that bad. Okay. Welcome to Lunch Club. Yippee! Do you like me? Do you like my little guy? My little thing I did? Don't I look adorable? I know I do. Oh god. Okay, that's the last time I'm doing that. That was the last of my iced coffee. This chat thing is not... it's not working behind me. I think I'm gonna turn it off and I'll try to figure it out next stream. It matches the profile. It does. I studied real hard staring at my own work, like, how did I draw that? Who drew this? So I did it on an iPad, so all I had was just a PNG of it. Whereas I would have preferred to just have the file and then make it in the file as another layer, but oh well. When I tried matching colors just from like the Critter palette, I was like, wait a minute, I used a completely different goddamn palette, that's not the same. And I looked tanned for some reason. Was it the same skin color? But right, I think I've done enough stalling now. Let's see if Critter will crash and burn, or it will, I don't know, might explode, who knows. Turn that off. Do that, do this. To the screen! Look at that! Surprise! I have a little tablet! Well, it's my laptop, but it's like I'm sitting at it! Isn't that cool? Spent like a day setting this up. I was like, ah, nice. Cool. When I was drawing my hand though, I drew it without fingers, so it was just like a mitten. So when I put myself behind it, I was like, hold on. No fingers? That ain't right. It just didn't match up. I've also got this as an option. It's like my hand is on the screen. And it like perfectly lines up with everything. But I think that would get in the way. That'd be a bit too annoying for like tutorial stuff. Or art club, because you kind of need to see what I'm doing. Might be cool for like, I don't know, time lapses or a casual art stream maybe. So I'm gonna turn that off. But yeah. Sorry, I keep checking everything. Welcome to Lunch Club, the art stream where we do stuff. I don't have a tagline for it yet. I'll think of something. But this first stream will be like the introduction to what's going on, to what's going down, how this is going to run. So I hope you all got your little pens and papers or your $3,000 Windows Surface Pro laptops. Whatever you use, drawing, you can sculpt, hell, do a collage during this if you really want to. I don't know, interpretive dance. Whatever your art form is. But yeah, we're gonna do a little drawing sesh. So I thought we start some warm-ups. If anybody in chat would like to recommend something to draw, or have got your own type of warm-up. Usually I just draw eyes if I'm warming up or need to get the creative juices flowing, because I find that easy and I like drawing eyes. So let's do that. Oh gosh, I alt-tabbed and I've got 48 windows open. See, I've got my little layers set up to the side with all my stuff. So I'm just gonna crank up my pen. Oh yeah, by the way, I use Critter. I know the 2 people in chat right now know that, but saying this for prosperity, for when I edit this, maybe. I use Critter, have been for a while, only updated it to 5 point whatever like a few months ago, and now I can stream and it not crash, because it just chewed the crap out of my RAM before. But now I can enjoy things like drawing squids. Yeah. But seriously, let's do a warm up. Let's draw some eyes. You can either draw eyes along with me, or if you've got your own warm up you do, by all means, go ahead. I think I started drawing eyes as a warm up mainly because I generally draw characters often. So when I need to warm up or brainstorm a character, I like drawing eyes that might suit the character I'm gonna draw. Or if I saw some cool art somewhere, or if I'm watching a show, I might draw some eyes that kind of look like my inspiration. Or I just draw these big, gorgeous 90s anime eyes with a little nose or something. Because I like extravagant, stupid eyes. I think they're really cool. You know? Really important to drawing a character. And you can do so much with them. Like, right now I just created a little worried set of eyes here. Move that off to the side. But if I'm feeling fierce, I just, oh, Critter's lagging, nice. Get some very sharp angles. Tiny pupils. Now we've got some like sassy eyes. That doesn't, they don't match. Let's fix that up a bit. Try that again. There we go. Now they're a bit more matchy-matchy. And then really over the top eyebrows, because we love those. Yeah, there we go. Do pupils. Random lions. They look cool. Look, you saw some eyeballs right there. It's just a fun little, oh, whoops. Just a fun little way to get the creative juices flowing. Or if you're bored and you feel like drawing, but you don't feel like sitting down for, 8 hours at a time, meticulously crafting a masterpiece, you can just fill a sheet with a bunch of different eye shapes. It's always fun to do. Some oval shaped ones here. Because they can be as goofy as you want, or as serious as you want. I'll give big pupils on this one. Yeah. Thicken the eyelid. Would you look at those sassy little eyes? Absolutely bugging out of this this head. Do a little shading. Yeah. Not a fan of this set, but you know, all different eyes exist. And they do. If you don't feel like you're particularly good at drawing eyeballs, then this is a good exercise anyways, because you can make whatever shape you want. Check this out, right? Let's make some squares. Make whatever shape you want, and you can turn it into a set of eyes. Isn't that just fabulous? Mine kind of look goofy without any coloring. That's mainly because when I sketch, I think about what the colors are going to be rather than showing them in the sketch. Like I wouldn't color that part of the iron in the sketch, but I probably would do it something like this. Like if I was gonna color it in later. So it looks a bit more. Yeah, see, there you go. So it looks a bit more legit. I'm take an eraser. Look, little shinies. Amazing, fantastic. But I generally draw goofy cartoon eyes, which I know that not everybody's into. Not everybody's into anime, cartoonist eyes. I can, however, draw realistic eyes, but only one at a time, not together. Because I generally don't do that, but I'm going to show you what a realistic eye might look like if I draw it. So you start with like an oval shape. Just note, I always make my eyes wider than they are because I don't like realism all too much, so I like to add a bit of stylistic exaggeration, because when I tend to draw stuff that's more realistic, it's usually when I'm doing horror stuff, so yeah, not my fault they come out freaky. Add a little eye crease, and then you draw your iris roughly in the middle. It's a bit hard sometimes to get the correct proportion of eye to iris because, make that top a little bit thicker, because your eyeball, you know, sits under your lid a bit. So you don't have the full iris. Give yourself a pupil. It's looking terrifying already. Wonderful. And then I like to mark in like a shine where that would be. Thicken that up. Creases. Now my creases, where I put them, are all aesthetic. They're not what the actual eye would probably look like. And go the eyebrow. Which I hate. I hate drawing realistic eyebrows. Because eyebrow hair is just stupid. You ever looked at your own eyebrows before? Or at someone's eyebrows? They start at like halfway down your brow and then end up at the end of your eyebrow. And I could never make mine not look goofy. I don't know if it's my technique or the chunky brush I use, but they always look a little dumb. Then I imply a nose by putting in like the nose bridge. Oh, that could probably come down a bit. I'm not drawing a whole realistic nose either. Yeah, eyebrow hairs are wacky. They're just dumb. That's why I draw them as gooby little shapes. That's all they need to be. Implied brows, not full eyebrows. Then to do your iris, it's just a bunch of lines. See? All lines and all that. I'm gonna rotate the canvas. I apologize if we get into big drawing today. I rotate my canvas a lot. That's just so I can get an angle, but it might be a bit disorientating for some people. Thicken this eyelid because it looks dodgy. What are we missing, folks? You know what we're missing? We're missing eyelashes. Something I also hate doing. Whether it be on a cartoon set of eyes or actual eyes. The trick is to follow the curve of the eyelid. Because remember, if you're drawing like an eyeball like this face on, your face is 3D, so your lashes don't all just, you know, poke out of your eyeball. They follow directions like that, because they flutter outwards. I'm not the best at drawing that either. I'm probably better at drawing realistic eyeballs on, with a pen, pencil, and paper. I don't know, they just don't translate well in my style to digital, but you get the gist, So that's a little tidbit there for you. A little bit of information. A bit longer maybe. I don't know. Don't spend too much time on this. Drop in some bottom lashes. Although something to note is that generally your top eyelid has more lashes than your bottom lid. Give that a bit of color. A little bit of shading. Just a whew. Cool. Looks semi-realistic at least. Yeah, I'm pretty warmed up. So I'm gonna jump into the main kerfuffle, the main kerfluffle of this art club. So generally how I want to do it within an hour is do some warm-ups and then jump into your assignment. That's right, you all get assignments for these clubs, because what's a club without extracurricular activities to go on top of your extracurricular activities? So I was thinking to teach you all about different stuff. I sound very specific. I'm totally educated. Went to university, got a degree in big smarts and big arts, full of big farts. I decided that your assignment to begin with will be, drumroll please, making, my screen's given up on me. What is happening? Hello? Oh, as if I clicked on the right layer. Sorry. Drumroll. We will be, I can't spell, making an OC. Thank you for the drum rolls. The tiny little drums. Making an OC. What the heck is that, you might be asking, if you don't know? Well, an OC that simply stands for original character. OC. Knew it. Hell yeah. Am I that predictable? Because an OC, original character, I think is the easiest way to talk about, you know, anatomy, characterization, designing something, coloring something, expressions, posing, maybe backgrounds. Who knows? I think it teaches a lot of basic foundations for drawing, using references, drawing with purpose, if that's what you're into. You can also just make original characters just because you can. That's a lot of artists do, just to play around with different ideas, different aesthetics, finding your style. Not something that requires originality. Dies. That's alright. If any of you feel like you're not a very creative person and creating an original character seems like a very daunting thing, that's why we're doing it in chunks. It's gonna be so easy. That's what the club is for. So I haven't really figured out how many streams it's gonna take, but slowly we'll build up using exercises and prompts and tips and tricks that I've accumulated over the years and have put into my Pinterest board and my Instagram saves, how to make an OC, and how that will teach you to be better at art. So I thought, ignore that I pressed that by mistake. Whoops, I thought I was still in Cradle. So, yeah, I thought that we can create an OC. I have a couple that I already have that I will bring to the screen. I will bring forth from the depths my own original characters, all of which are being used for my different webcomics I have that I'm currently writing for. And I'll talk about how I started thinking of original characters and give you different ways you can also start thinking about original characters. Because most ways people make OCs, like the level entry, most common way people start doing it is because they've seen a show they liked, a cartoon, a game, anime, manga, comic, literally anything. They found a media form, have a favorite character, like the world building, and they want to put themselves into it. So they make a self-insert. And that's alright. That's cool. Because then you make your own little character, and then bam, it's like it's in your favorite show. That's how a lot of people start out. Then from there, people branch out and, make their own characters for their own worlds. Or they might make a spin-off of their favorite franchise, like a alternate universe, and create different characters that interact in there. Every book you read, every manga you read, they're original characters. Somebody made them. They brainstormed at 3 a.m. Damn, I want to write a story. And then they hopped onto, whatever writing program they have, or they opened their dream journal and they started jotting down different characters. And while it may seem easy to come up with one if you're trying to do like a self-insert one, yeah, it's pretty easy. You have a baseline and aesthetics and a set of rules you can apply to your character, but what if you don't? What if you make an original character that doesn't belong to a spin-off franchise or isn't a self-insert? What do you do then? Well, you just go ham. So with my first ever, I wouldn't say first ever OCs, but my proper original characters are from a webcomic that I put on the back burner called Mosshilton. And it has a significant long title. I'll think of it in a second if I can remember what the heck it was, because I haven't looked at it in a while. But I created characters for it. I've critter wants to open it. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's much bigger than my canvas. Hold on. Boop. There we go. So these two, my favorite little cherubs, are the what would you call it? Like the first sketch, the original design for these two characters. I've changed them, but I'm not going to show you their new look because that is still under development. But these two, they exist in a world where psychics are real, but they're slowly fading out for nefarious reasons. And so these two are private investigators investigating paranormal activities. Simple premise, right? Where did I pull that from? Out of my ass. No, I didn't. I based this on Mob Psycho. That's my inspiration there. So instead of creating an OC that fits into the Mob Psycho world, I was inspired to create a character that had a sort of adjacent world. I was inspired to create a psychic, so I did. The psychic's on the left, her name's Siobhan. This one... Oh, that's a select tool. This one here. That's Siobhan. And this guy here, I'll call Aiden for now. I was going to change his name, but that's also being a work in progress. I got these two and basically swapped their appearances, because originally I wanted to have a duo, like in Mob Psycho, but I just I took Mob's hair, put it on the guy. Took Reagan's hair, put it on the girl. I know, originality. But you wouldn't think these two are based off of Mob and Reagan until I explained it. But they're also based off of, well, physically, I think I subconsciously based them off of this graphic novel. Bear with me as Google tries to load. Yeah, gee, Google's not liking me today. Goodness. Any minute now. My internet is dying. Please forgive me. It's crapping its pants. Okay. Paste this image in here. They're based on... I was inspired by these two from a graphic novel called Nimona. I think that's how you say it. I've never heard it actually spoken. Clearly she's Nimona. And her bestie pal here, Lord Blackheart. Yeah, you can kind of see the similarities here. I like them a lot. So I drew inspiration from them to make Siobhan and Aiden. Even though Nimona has nothing to do with my original characters and the original inspiration I based it off of. This might just sound like I'm dumping OC lore, but I've got a point here. You don't have to start an OC off like by scratch. Sorry, my knuckles were probably just loud as shit then. You can use stuff you're inspired by to create a base or an idea for characters. Siobhan and Aiden, oh my god, they do not look like this anymore. Trust, I have like overhauled them to crap, but using stuff I like and the concept of things I like, I was able to crap out a base of an idea. You know what I mean? Probably makes no sense. I should have written a script or something for this, but what I'm getting at is it's very easy to find creativity for your OCs, and you can kind of copy someone's homework but make it look like your own to begin with, if that's what helps you. Because if you have some ground ideas to the stereotype or archetype of a character you want, then you can base it off something you already know and then go off from there. Basically, being inspired helps a lot when making an OC. It's that feeling you get when you're watching your favorite anime, you're like, wow, that character's cool, I want to be like him. Well, draw something like him. Draw a character you want to be if you're in that world too. Or draw some fan art of a character and go, oh gee, I wonder what they'd look like if A, B, or C had happened instead. And then you can turn that idea and flip it into an original character with their own backstory and their own looks. Check the chat real quick. Is that a cup of milk? I don't know what the cup of milk's in relation to, but interesting. I think it's a cup of milk. I'm a shark. Is that your OC? You are a shark? Shark boy? Shark boy lava girl? Yeah, so, sorry. Back on track. This is not my only set of OCs, by the way. Oh, I pasted as a reference image. What's this just still doing here? Boop. I also have a more current OC from another webtoon I'm doing called Deep Fried Space. And this character, this OC, her name, that I will not say due to spoilers. Because I don't want to... Oh no, I've shown her before. I don't know if I've mentioned her name though. I'm just going to say her, the pink-haired one. You'll see in a second. I didn't draw her for Deep Fried Space. I had originally drawn her because I just felt like drawing. I was possessed by the devil. And I just drew. Well, I was mainly inspired by someone else's drawing, but oh, that didn't paste properly. Apologies. Try that. There we go. I was inspired by someone else's drawing because of the color palette they had used. And so I just drew someone random. I wanted to go... I like drawing big fluffy hair, so I wanted to draw somebody with big fluffy hair, so I just did. And then eventually, months later, when I was coming up with an idea for a webcomic, I remembered that, oh, I've drawn someone before, and I liked her. She was cool. Didn't have a story, didn't have a background, literally nothing. Just a headshot. Let me bring her into frame. Ah, look at her. Beautiful. Ignore the crappy expression sheet I tried to do on the side there. But yeah, I drew this character. Absolutely based on nothing other than a color palette. So, if you don't watch shows and you live under a rock, but you have colored vision and can see, you could very well base an OC off a feeling, or a color palette, or just a concept. My concept was pink, yellow, fluffy hair, and then I drew it. I remember. Yeah, you'd probably remember this one. For those who know me IRL, I posted this all over a Discord, and then I wouldn't shut up about it, posted it on my Instagram. It's on the reel highlight. A lot of people like the idea for this. But, once I started drawing... once I had drawn her, and then I'd come back, because I remembered, oh, that's right, she exists. And I needed a character for my webcomic. She fit perfectly. I'm trying to find this other picture I have of her. I had a... Oh, I had a better screenshot with a costume design for her, but I don't think that's in this file. Oh well. But anyways, so once I had drawn her and thought about the world she could be in, everything just started, like, spewing out of my brain. And because of that, because of thinking about one character, it gave birth to multiple characters in my imagination. So I was inspired by my own inspiration from myself. That's some Inception crap right there. So I have some scrapped designs for the other characters that are in Deep Fried Space. This guy was meant to be another one, another protagonist. The word left my head for a second. This guy here, Stuart was his name. It's not anymore, and he does not look like this at all. But yeah, I started thinking of what kind of world these characters live in, and what kind of tone I wanted to set. Clearly, if you can tell by this guy, Deep Fried Space is a sci-fi, but it's also going to be a comedy. So I needed a witty, snarky character, as all good trios of characters have. And so I used inspiration from other sci-fi shows and stuff I've watched, like Futurama, Final Space, what was the other one? Inside Job. Rest its poor soul. Great show. But, yeah, so I used those characters as, like, an idea for a concept for a character in this trio. So we've got, like, the human being pink-haired girl here. Yeah, Inside Job is a great show. A shame it got cancelled. That show was great. Good God. Screw Netflix. God. And they cancelled Final Space too, which sucked because it was a good show. I haven't watched the final season though because I don't want it to end. But yeah, I came up with the concept of Stuart based on my own daydreaming about this world that my characters live in. Unfortunately, I have scrapped this design, so what you're seeing right now is never before seen footage or drawing of Stuart and what he could have been. As you can tell from his writing here, I even put in a little bit of dialogue to help me figure out what kind of character he was going to be. You know, quite frankly, I see no problem with a little bit of slavery. He was, you know, obviously going to be some kind of omnipotent celestial being or something, but he looks like a he looks like a Dorito with legs. As cringy as this may sound, I wanted him to have the stupid feel, not the stupid feel, the annoying vibe of Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls, like a lick of essence of that, like, devil may care attitude, because he is an omnipotent force and being, and so was Stuart at some point, but now he's not. Because I was just like, that's too much, that's overpowering. I've got to balance the characters. He can't be this all-being celestial body. That's just ridiculous. And so sorry. I need a drink. And from them, because I was thinking of the different types of characters you come across in a sci-fi film or a book or a movie, I thought, oh, well, there's going to have to be some kind of third alien character or something. Which, spoilers for Deep Fried Space, this third character is like the whole premise. She's a supporting character, but she's like the beginning to Deep Fried Space. Not much of a spoiler though, because this is all I have of her. If I click the right file. It's absolutely not much. Oh. Move Stuart out of the way, get him out of here. She does not exist. And quite frankly, I can't even remember her name. But this is me stretching my brain muscles trying to come up with costume concepts for my character before I've even drawn the character. She doesn't even have a face yet. I still haven't decided on what she's gonna look like because I've been messing around with clothes and stuff. This is the segment of the show where I tell you how difficult it is to make an OC because there's so many options out there and you're inspired by so many things, but you have to make it work. You have to make them make sense. Like the way the character looks, the way the character might sound, the way they dress, their attitude, because it's all reflective of how you draw them. Like, you wouldn't expect a soft, round character like Kirby to be, saying slurs or something. Like, you wouldn't expect him to be a dictator. Or you take a rough character like, Yep, everything's lost my head now. I can't think of a character. Does anybody know the dragon from Samurai Jack? If you do, you'll get what I mean. Because the way he's drawn, he's clearly evil, you expect him to be kind of scary, kind of powerful. Me making an extremely niche reference. that Cartoon Network 90s kids would only get. And no, I'm not talking about the red one, I'm talking about the, what's his name? Aku. There we go. I haven't seen Samurai Jack in a long time. Well, he's kind of dragon-like, but for the point of my example, he came to my head because extreme art style. Oh, here's a deep-fried PNG of him. But you get what I mean? Like, he looks evil because he's drawn to look evil. So if you draw a character that looks evil but doesn't in the slightest act evil for whatever reason without proper context, then, your character just kind of doesn't make sense. Unless within context they look scary but they're actually not. Or if your character is cute but they're actually not because it's a horror genre. And they're actually like a little cannibal or something. But these are all things to consider, and I still can't find the inspiration for my original character. This poor alien woman that's absolutely faceless and has, I don't know, looks like a 60s diner space girl from bloody Ohio or whatever. But the main point I'm getting at is, don't worry. Just be inspired when you draw an OC, when you start off drawing. It's a little overwhelming, but I do have a bit of a map planage for you guys. Move this shit out the way. So, next stream, we will start off with inspiration. And how to find it. And what that means. Because, like, yeah, sure, you can find inspiration or whatever. But how? How do you get it? How do you use inspiration? Because when I started drawing, I was very inspired by a lot of the stuff that was happening in my life at the time, because I just discovered gaming. I'm kidding. I discovered PC gaming, though, and a bunch of games I'd missed out on growing up. Because I wasn't in those communities. I didn't know what Steam was. I didn't know a lot of stuff. But yeah, I had the inspiration. Didn't know how to use it though. I made a shit ton of OCs, but they didn't go anywhere. They weren't really good. They were kind of bad. So what I wanted to know, drawing, learning to draw is how to use inspiration, but how do you use it properly, you know? So with inspiration, we'll look at references, how to use them properly, both as inspiration, inspo, but then for actual drawing, because you might come across a pose or an aesthetic or a person. You might be sure to see off an actual person, just a random person you find online. You might like their haircut, their outfit, the way they stand or hold themselves, their facial expressions. But how do you translate that into your style? We'll talk about that in the next stream. And we'll also talk about different, what would you call it, inspo places, where to find it, and how not to accidentally plagiarize. Because I see with a lot of people that start to try to make OCs, they just copy and paste a character that might already exist in that franchise. I want you to imagine those cringy Sonic OCs. not that all of them are cringy, but a lot of them just literally take Sonic and paint him black. It's like, oh wait, there's already an edgy Sonic. His name's Shadow. So I want to show you how to avoid that too. So that your OC is unique in a way. Much more in a way than your original source material. But in terms of actual drawing, because who the hell wants to talk about theory all the time? In terms of real drawing, we will practice yeah, I can spell. We will practice faces and expressions. I'm just going to write emotes for short. We will look at clothing. My neighbor is starting up his motorcycle. I apologize if you can all hear that. And we will talk about, oh sorry, not in drawing, but we'll talk about backstory or a story regarding your OC. Not all of your original characters have to have some kind of backstory, but if you've got some like one sentence concept in your head, like a person who likes to game at night. That's a simple enough prompt, isn't it? To get you thinking like, oh, okay, so gaming at night, RGB lights. Maybe this character has light up headphones, they're holding a controller, maybe they're a cute little gamer boy, or they might be a gross Cheeto covered basement dweller gaming at night. So if you have some kind of like mini story, or if you're planning on making a character with a bigger story, if you understand what that character wants, is doing, it gives you a mental image of what your character might actually look like. So that's a good way to make a character too, so I'll talk about that as well. But we are coming to the end of the stream. What we got 3 minutes left. I didn't realize how fast that would have gone by. But I only want these sessions to be about an hour long anyways, to fit in with lunch and break times. A little break during the day. But also as a little rundown of all different stuff. Bite-sized pieces of me rambling. Especially for this first stream, I didn't want to get into anything too heavy. I didn't want to start making you all draw a Picasso piece that's 8 meters long and I want it done by Friday. I want it on my desk by Friday. Pictures of goddamn OCs. So here's the screen, if y'all want to take a mental note of that. So your assignment for the next week, until we meet up again next week, I want you to... Oh, what do I want you to do? I want you to... Oh, whoops. Find pictures. Now what the heck does that mean, you ask? I want you to, in the back of your mind, you don't have to draw anything for this, but if you feel like you need to draw to explore this assignment, by all means, complete this however you want. It's not mandatory. I will not be showing this in the next pop quiz next week, and I will not deduct points from your exam, but I want you to collect images of your favorite characters, of your favorite clothing, of your favorite aesthetic photos, things you find cool. You might come across something you might see in your daily life that you find cool. Take a picture of that. I want you to put all those photos into a file of sorts, or if you're on Pinterest, make a board. If you're on Instagram, make a saved collection. If you're on your desktop, make a file and put it on your desktop. Put those PNGs in there. If you're on your phone, save them to notes or your camera roll. Make an album in your camera roll. Get things that you think might help you make an OC. And start thinking of like characters that you would like to make, because everyone's got characters they would like to make. I mean, surely as a kid you might have had an imaginative friend or something, but just think of stuff that you can do that will get your juices flowing and the imagination going. So yeah, any questions before I skedaddle for today? That's all you need to do. Let me look at chat. Want to play Among Us? No, oh my god. Among Us stream when? No, I don't think so. Unfortunately, I have severe PTSD from Among Us. Also, the game's updated too much for me now. I don't think... I'm too old now. I don't think I'll be able to catch up with it. Yeah. Well, that's it for this stream. Thank you all for joining me. I hope that it was helpful. Excuse me. Take a drink. Among Us VR? No, I don't think that... I've seen clips of Among Us VR where there's just like a grown man bullying kids, but he's like joking with them all at the same time, calling them poo-poo heads, which I think is funny. Oh god, why is there so many of you now? Can't begin with the bloody Among Us VR. Good god. Well, with that, recap your assignment. Find pictures that make you want to make character. Simple as that. You don't even have to draw. If you feel like you want to draw, by all means, you can start coming up with ideas for a character. Drawing little things down. If you like the way a character's eyes looked and you want to try and draw that, by all means, do that. And next week... oh, my throat. And next week we'll be talking about finding more inspo, so don't worry if you haven't found any within the week. Because we'll work together. And I'll show you the specific inspirations I've found or used, or how I look for inspo for my characters. So thank you all for participating today, for joining, and I will see you all Friday. No, not Friday. Saturday. I know my days of the week. See some of you all Saturday for a gaming stream. We'll be playing Amori again. And yeah, see you all next week for next week's art club, lunch club. I hope this was alright. It wasn't too much of just me rambling. When I talk about character design, I get really excited because I really like characters and designing them. I think it's the best thing ever because you can do whatever you want and no one can tell you no because it's your character. Alright, I'll stop I'll stop rambling now. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Ciao. Oh god, how do I turn off my mic again? Ah! There we go.